Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of SUGTalks. I'm Craig Dale, your host, and together with our special guests we'll take a deep dive into the topics, challenges and opportunity facing SAP users today. Please make sure you hit that plus button so that you never miss another episode. I'm delighted to be joined today by Rob Geddes, Head of Customer Engagement Success, Cloud Success Services at UK&I SAP. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing how to make the move from SAP on-premise to cloud a success. And I know that's a topic that's on many of our members' minds going forward, and we thought it'd be great to bring it to you today through a podcast. So welcome, Rob.
Thank you, Craig. Delighted to be here.
Oh, excellent. And just moving onward slightly to a different subject before we head back onto the move to the cloud. For this week's icebreaker, Rob, I thought, as we're coming to the summer holidays, where would your dream summer holiday location be and why? And while you have a little think about that, the thing that came to my mind as soon as this was thrown in front of me was, I don't know if you watch Death in Paradise on the BBC, but the inspector's shack on the beach, I think that would be just absolutely perfect. Even comes with its own little lizard. So, yep, that would be me, I think. How about you?
No, I love that. For me, it's not so much, it is about the location, but it's about being able to switch off, Craig, and feeling that you're a million miles away from the hustle and bustle of work. So I know it's a summer holiday question, but nothing works better than me than a winter ski holiday when you're up in the mountains. You can't get a signal anyway. You've got beautiful views. You just, sailing, cruising down the ski slopes if you're any good. So that's perfect for the winter. In the summer, I guess it's kind of similar. I come from the north of Scotland. There's nothing better on a beautiful day, sitting up on the beach in the Moray Firth, looking over the Moray Firth coast, watching the dolphins playing, and with nothing to worry about except when's my tea time on the golf course, and when am I going to have a nice bit of fish for dinner. So that's my ideal.
Oh, good, that's perfect. Although I'm seeing myself tumbling down the slopes rather than skiing majestically.
Yes, stick to the greens and the blues, Craig. That's my advice.
But that sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you for that. And so just moving to our main subject conversation now, in many cases, organizations have spent a lot of time and resources customizing their SAP implementations that they've been utilizing on-premise for many years. So how easy is it for organizations to move their instances of SAP, if you like, from an on-premise world to a cloud environment?
It's not easy, Craig. There's a lot of things to consider when you look at that, and if we put into context why customers are wanting to move to the cloud in the first place, that will help understand what it is we can do as organizations to facilitate that. So in my experience, customers are looking to future-proof the business by being able to deliver continuous innovation and have agility. So no one wants to be the BlackBerry or the Blockbusters of this world. They want to be the iPhones and the Netflix, right? And they also, they want better security and compliance. They want to be able to tap into, the latest breakthrough technology. There's a lot of noise right now about generative AI, and that's really only possible when you've got the scale and the power of cloud technology. If we think specifically about SAP's capability in the cloud, our green ledger, that transactional carbon accounting capability, well, that's only built on the cloud as well. So there are carrots to come to the cloud. And customers also tell me that they're looking for faster time to value at a lower cost is a theme, and also to help reduce mission critical risk and enable more resiliency as well, because they've got access to the latest innovations and the latest product upgrades and security features. And I was looking at an IDC report recently around why customers want to move from on-premise to the cloud, and they found that by 2025, they reckon 80% of organizations who are looking to respond to this, what they call a digital-first economy, they require advanced enterprise applications with exceptional innovation and multifunctional capabilities and all these self-learning aspects. And for them, that's a big trend of moving towards the cloud. So 80% of organizations want to make that shift by 2025. And I see that same trend within SAP as well. So your question is, how easy is it to move? Well, I think it can be made easy if you prepare properly and you think about the right things to do. It's not an easy task in itself. It can be complex, but if you approach it the right way, you will be successful. So what are the things that you want to consider as a customer? So, if you move into the cloud, your applications might need to be modified or rewritten. Your data needs to be cleaned up, and this takes time and resources for customers. And many customers I talk to, they're running complex, highly customized legacy systems. You've got years-old applications and thousands of lines of custom code, as you say, and while these systems might still meet the current business needs, they do hinder the ability to adapt to the changing business needs and to market requirements. And it prevents companies from being able to innovate, to grow, and basically to scale. And at the same time, I think many companies consider these customized applications as their competitive advantage, and they fear losing that when they move to a standardized cloud solution. So, in that context, how SAP helps that concern to make it easier for customers is, we've got these cloud journeys, which mimic customer situations. So are you moving a lift and shift? Are you going brownfield, greenfield, bluefield? We've got those customer journeys. And we've got tooling that helps. So for example, we've got the SAP Signavio portfolio, and that helps you to, as a customer, to analyze your current processes. You benchmark them against best practices in your industry, and then it helps you reconfigure them as needed for the future. Not only our tools, but our partners' tools as well help to facilitate and automate the code, to migrate the data. Across all the solutions, we've got a huge collection of both SAP and partner technology and capabilities through the business technology platform that can easily help to manage and extend the customization. So that's one concern and one area where SAP can help. Another is security. So I mentioned that earlier, and it's a top concern for many companies when they consider moving to the cloud. And studies have shown that data loss or leakage is the biggest concern with, I would say, it's data privacy and confidentiality second, and then accidental exposure of credentials comes in third. So data is oftentimes a company's biggest asset, and a lot of the customers, they just fear a loss of control when they hand that over to a third party. So what's interesting is, though, that 70% of all security breaches originate from on-premise systems. So, it's almost a misnomer that you've got more risk in the cloud. You've actually got less risk in the cloud. So you can imagine, if you've got to manage and control access to all of your 10 in your solutions, you can never be as good as a hyperscaler at that kind of thing. So it kind of makes sense in that regard. So that's the second major concern that I see. Integration's another one. So you've got many IT landscapes which have been expanded over the years with point solutions to solve specific business needs, and that gives you a fragmented stack, right? It's maybe poorly integrated. You've got disconnected or duplicate master data, and oftentimes you've got an inconsistent user experience to go along with that. And all of that just frustrates users, and it slows down customers' ability to innovate. So if you're going to turn sort of data into meaningful insight and to get a complete picture, if you like, in real time and make decisions with knowledge of all the interdependencies in your organization, it requires our customers to integrate all of their functions and processes based on a harmonized data model. So the good news is, talking to the SAP user group, not preaching to the converted, but we've got these harmonized data models within SAP in the core processes like HR, payroll, and procurement, and we've also got we also offer integration, deep integration for hybrid landscapes between cloud and SAP on-premise as well. And I'm sure we'll talk more about this topic later, but if you consider that SAP API Business Hub is more than 3,000 APIs, 2,500 ready-made integrations, and 240 connectors for every application, all built around SAP Business Technology Platform. The tooling is there to deal with that topic for our customers. And then the fourth and last one I would say, and probably the biggest and oftentimes overlooked, is organizational change. A cloud transformation it's not just about changing technology. It affects the entire organization. It's changing skills, it's changing roles and processes. And even though, you can clearly see the benefits of moving to the cloud, many companies often try to avoid this organizational change for as long as possible, and that's a mistake. The technology aspect of cloud transformation itself is a huge change, but if you only focus on that aspect, you'll not see the full range of benefits that cloud can deliver. So I always say that every transformation starts and ends with the people, and a business cannot transform unless or until the people transform. And it needs everyone within the company, from the exec board down to each individual employee, across the lines of business and across the organisation. Now, there's good research on this as well, Craig. Deloitte did a research recently, and it talked about the right combination and implementation of digital transformation and they call them actions, and they can generate up to 1.25 trillion in additional market capitalization for a company across. They studied Fortune 500, to be clear. Well, if you take the wrong approach, you can actually erode your market capitalization by over 1.5 trillion.
Ouch.
And yes, so they focused on the individual and collective impacts of three core factors, okay? They talked about digital strategy as the first factor, and that's the enterprise impacts that arise from digital transformation. So what's your vision? What are you trying to do? Are you going full transformation, or move what you have and plan for the future? So what's your vision? The second one was, what's your technology aligned to your strategy? So these are so choosing the right solution, basically. So in this context, we're talking about SAP and our partner community. So have you got the right technology aligned to your strategy? But the third one is what they call digital change capability, or it's an organization's ability to adapt and adopt the new processes, the resources, and the ways of working in the context of this digital transformation. And the most influential factor by a mile was this digital capability, so organizational change. So I would say start early with it, invest in it early, and go for that.
Oh, fantastic. Is that report freely available? Could we include a link to it in the show notes?
Yeah, absolutely. Freely available, Craig, and I'll share links to every podcast or a report that I refer to today.
Thank you. Fantastic. Because that's quite interesting. Because we launched our cost of change paper a year or two ago around, looking at that element of organizational change and the hidden costs that are there, especially from that move from on-prem to cloud. So that'd be a great paper to sit alongside that. And from that perspective, Rob, obviously SAP traditionally, over the years, many of our members, the vast majority, are sat on an on-premise system. And obviously, that's what SAP supported over the years. So what how has SAP support changed to reflect the move to the cloud?
Let me answer it this way. I'll take a little step back. So if we think about Christian Klein's latest guidance to investors, is that by 2025, SAP is going to reach 25.5 billion in cloud revenues compared to a total revenue of 37.5 billion. So what that tells you is that SAP's own transformation journey to the cloud is reaching a tipping point very soon where cloud revenue is going to exceed on-premise. Now, the journey to becoming a cloud company has meant SAP itself has needed to transform along the way, and at the same time look after and provide a transition path both for our people and our customers as they make the same journey at their pace. So we had to reorganize ourselves and measure our performance in different ways to reflect this new cloud paradigm. So over 2 years ago, we created the customer success partner role. Now, the customer success partner role is focused on cloud adoption and consumption of the solution, making sure that our customers, having bought SAP software, they're getting that initial time to value, they're getting live quickly, that the solution is relevant, it's tailored for that customer's needs, it can be adopted easily and consumed, that the new innovations that come with the regular cloud updates, that they're being curated and tailored for that organization, and they're taking advantage of those. And that role is funded by the cloud subscription. It comes with a cloud subscription, so they're not trying to sell anything. They're actually just trying to drive value for the business. So that's a major change for SAP. And the way that the customer success partner role is being described by our leadership internally is that role itself is the embodiment of SAP's cloud strategy. So introducing these customer success partners both for line of businesses and also at the enterprise level has been a major change that I'm sure we'll talk more about in future podcasts, Craig. So that's one main area. Then the other, I would say, in addition to these new roles, SAP support and services has evolved to be more cloud oriented. So you think about enterprise support, you've got the traditional real-time support for mission critical processes. You still have your quality checks and assessment services to safeguard your environments and your journey through your projects. You've still got your peer communities with your answers and opportunities to exchange ideas and knowledge. And also all the library of knowledge-based articles and guided learnings, etc. But on top of that, we've got more accelerators, more best practice content and other tools to guide you on the journey and make it faster. We've got cloud application lifecycle management tools as well. A lot of investment in that to help to optimize and adopt your cloud solutions. And if you think about the need for faster time to value, we've also introduced personalized and prescriptive success plans that can be added to any SAP solution. And this is where SAP will work with customers to focus on your priorities and your goals, and then provide prescriptive insights, expertise and resources to help maximize the value from the solutions. And these success plans come in 3 flavors. So our most popular are SAP Preferred Success, which you may be familiar with, Craig, and that's really focused on fast tracking that fast time to value from your cloud investment and keep driving more value. You've also got the SAP Cloud Application Services, so these are really around that day-to-day operation and running of your cloud solutions. And then we've got the SAP Learning Hub as well, which is really aimed at helping increase your solution proficiency in your team as well through webinars, best practices, tutorials and more. And finally, we've introduced the tool SAP For Me, which is your digital companion around your whole SAP customer journey. You can have it on your mobile device, and it gives you access to all of this capability through your mobile device. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how we view that additional support that's needed.
Oh, thanks very much. It certainly does, and obviously there's, I know when we talk about shifts, a shift from on-prem to the cloud world, but also there's going to be a big shift, if you like, from ECC to S4 HANA, and we see this tidal wave building, perhaps, of the a vast amount of SAP customers looking to make that journey in the next 3 to 4 years, perhaps. Do you have any specific plans for boosting support in that time? If all of a sudden you do have a huge influx and a flurry of organisations making the move to the cloud?
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely is the first answer. So, and we're also aware, we've got the ECC maintenance deadline out there, and for me, the way I look at the maintenance deadline, that's symptomatic of SAP aligning with these macro industry trends and the reasons for businesses wishing to move to the cloud that we just talked about. We also, as part of that, we also recognise businesses appreciate as much lead time as possible to prepare, and so there's extended support available from 2027 through to 2030 for an additional fee, but it's there. And then we've got the Cloud Extension Program, which has been further developed, and that really aims to help customers leverage their existing current SAP investments to help them transform to the cloud. So you get more flexibility to eliminate shelfware and get more value. So, for example, there's better flexibility in budgeting for multi-year ramp-ups, and the inclusion of preferred success that we've just talked about is part of that. It essentially gives customers the ability to leverage their current maintenance spend with SAP to reduce their incremental spend for the cloud transformation, and that's also available through the partners as well. And analysts also agree with the trend that you mentioned there, Craig. So Gartner predicts that enterprise IT spending on public cloud computing will overtake spend on traditional IT by 2025. And if I look at an IDC report as well, and I'll share all these links, the current deployment, and this is from last year in North America, but I think it's fairly reflective of UK as well. The current deployment of SAP HANA in the United States, 53.5% of organizations are primarily running that on-premise today. But the planned deployment of SAP HANA that will migrate their SAP estate in the next 12 months shows that only 13.8% of organizations plan to deploy it on-premise. So that's quite a big change in 12 months. So we can see the acceleration. And I do expect that to continue for a few years. But with all this demand comes concerns on skills. And I remember the user group white paper that reflected that, the skills shortage that was a concern for, I think, 86% of your members, right? So,
it is indeed.
So maybe we just double click on that for a second. So there's a few things SAP are doing to create more capability and capacity in the ecosystem. So November last year, we announced, we think it's a monumental initiative. It's a big word, but and that's to upskill 2 million people worldwide by 2025 to really further our commitment to creating opportunities through learning and development for all. So this is a partnership with Coursera, and I'll share the links to this. And then, we also launched an as part of this, it's an expanded digital skills initiative to provide easier access to essential learning resources, and it's really aimed at underrepresented and underserved groups in technology. So, females in tech, we know the proportion of that is way less than the what it needs to be, and it's also providing access to remote locations, what we used to call second world countries as well. So, it's a really exciting partnership, and we're proud to be part of that. In addition, we've got the SAP Universities Alliances program, so that's enabling us to educate the next generation of consultants. We've also got apprenticeships at SAP, so that's leading to a degree in digital and technology. so they can apprenticeships can earn a degree while building specialist technical skills needed to drive transformational change and get themselves jump-started a career in professional services. And on top of that, we've got a lot of what we're doing with our partners specifically. So from a partner perspective, our ambition is to have our ecosystem contribute 50% of our total cloud revenue. So in order to do that, we've got a structured plan for growth. We've several initiatives and programs in place, most of which are global led and include things such as SAP's Fast Track initiative, which gives our partners a discounted access to over 150 certifications in 9 languages. We track our partner certifications. We agree annual growth targets with them and review them jointly to make sure we're supporting them and helping them to be best in class as well. And SAP Services also leans in and helps with that initiative as well. And of course, our customers are going to feel more confident when they're working with certified partners. And our certified partner finder helps you understand where they are and what their capacity is, etc. So, and I think you'll remember late last year, together with the user group, we co-authored a guide to help customers better understand SAP certification. It gives advice on best practice on what certification organizations should be looking for at different stages of a project. Depends whether you're moving from ECC 6 to S4HANA or SAP HCM to SuccessFactors, etc. And we've also got the SAP Partner Talent Initiative, which is free certification for graduates who can train as certified consultants in our partner ecosystem from finance, HR, sales, procurement and marketing. So lots going on to build that ecosystem.
Oh, fantastic! That's brilliant. And yes, I had it on the tip of my tongue about the guide that we worked on together. So thank you for mentioning that.
We know our community, but we don't know yours yet. Why not share the benefits of your UK&I SUG membership with those who don't know about us? The UK&I SUG referral scheme rewards you for helping to grow and develop our community. You can check out the link in the description to find out more about how you can get involved. Terms and conditions apply. We hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Just while we're on that partner perspective, from your point of view, what should users look for in a partner to choose the right one for them to help them on their journey?
Yeah, so yeah, there's definitely considerations, Craig. So I do want to point to an IDC report as well, and again, I'll share the links for that one. But it says that most businesses end up working with multiple partners and/or system integrators because they have varying levels and rarely seamless complementary areas, right? So it does lead to inefficiencies, higher costs, and multiple throats to choke for the business, unfortunately. So what their research showed that on average, businesses work with 3 different partners for this purpose. That's as an average, right? So, but it did also say that the top 3 preferred partner types for this is number 1, which is nice to hear, SAP itself, 53%. Number 2 was the managed services provider, 33%, and also 33% was your public cloud service provider. So not too surprising in the context of a cloud transformation. What I would say is I'd recommend using the Partner Finder tool that I mentioned previously. It can supply a lot of extra information to find out, how many projects in, say, the last 2 years has the partner done in the cloud, the number of certifications, but most importantly, you have to talk to them. So find a partner who demonstrates a cloud mindset. So they understand what it means to transform into the cloud. They understand the beauty of maintaining a clean core, standardization that you need. And, are they talking the language? So, read the blogs, read the content. Is the partner on the same page? And then decide what mix of partners you want to use versus your own in-house capability. Where are your gaps and who can fill those for you?
Thank you very much. And Just talking, you mentioned earlier, obviously, that the statistics, I think, around the move to public cloud, etc., and it wouldn't be a conversation around SAP with an executive from SAP if we didn't bring RISE into the conversation, I suppose. And so, how do services such as RISE support customers from moving from an on-premise to a cloud environment?
Yeah, no, that's good. And when we talk about RISE, Craig, today, we must also talk about GROW as well. And GROW is, if you like, the little brother compared to RISE. It's aimed at mid-market. So, and the way we look at RISE and GROW, they're a comprehensive digital transformation solution to help the organizations of any size reach what we call the intelligent enterprise and be sustainable in the cloud. So, and the way that they help customers, well, it comes with a cloud ERP for every business. You know the industry best practices that SAP can bring to the table, the extensibility, the analytics, business process intelligence, and outcome-driven services from SAP and its partners. So, to be specific, for example, in RISE and GROW, in addition to the cloud ERP, you get access to new innovation features. And I talked about them previously, generative AI in the Green Ledger. You get access to the new guided Signavio process discovery at no extra cost. So, this talked about it previously, where you can benchmark your current processes, get the performance, get personalized results in 2 weeks and delivered by an SAP customer advisor. And then you also get insight to achieve and maintain your clean core. So looking at your thousands, hopefully less lines of code, and you need to reduce that, and you want to avoid those customizations. So we're now offering a clean core dashboard, so customers can see the complete view of all their custom codes, compliance, system notifications, and release version. And that just makes it easier to get clarity on your state today and track progress towards eliminating those undesired customizations. And also with RISE, there's massive scale support now. SAP will certify XXL machines, which is close to my T-shirt size as well, for RISE with SAP customers with more than 24 terabytes. So we're able to appropriately manage and configure these large size machines. And with these two solutions as well, SAP are investing on the commercial side because costs are always a consideration. So we're heavily investing in RISE for S4HANA Cloud to provide customers with the maximum innovation coupled with the best price as well. And to go alongside that, it's really important that if you think about the complexities, we want to make it as simple as possible. So the RISE adoption framework really helps nail down those clear roles and responsibilities between what SAP are going to do, what the customer needs to do, and what a partner needs to do. So that's a really popular tool and very effective as well.
Fantastic. So, when we're looking at that, there's obviously different options for the customer, and this conversation is all about moving to the cloud. But there are going to be customers, of course, who are perhaps under pressure from the higher echelons of their organisation that the moving to the cloud now is not an option for them. That if you like, they need to keep. They don't want their data in the cloud as such, or all of their data in the cloud. So for those customers who are looking at this and think, we can't go all in on the cloud at this point, it's a much longer journey for them. Is there a hybrid approach that they can take, and what does that look like?
Short answer is yes, Craig. So most customers today are hybrid. They've got a mix of cloud environments. So coming back to the IDC report, I'll give you some more data points. So 31.5% of customers are running S4HANA in the public cloud. Again, this is North America data, but I think relevant. 10.5% have a combination of ERP instances on the cloud and on premise, and 53% are still on premise, as I mentioned earlier. So, but often they're running SAP workloads in the cloud, such as SuccessFactors, Ariba, CX, and Concur, with on-premise ERP. And that same report, respondents, even if they run SAP HANA database primarily in one deployment and another, 84% of businesses still say that they run their entire SAP landscape in multiple deployments or in a hybrid way. And for customers that I work with in the UK, I'd say 99% of customers have a hybrid environment. So it couldn't be more business as usual. That is, and I say 99 because I can't think of one that isn't hybrid, Craig, right? So, but I have been wrong in the past, so I'll leave that a little bit open there. So, but it's typically a transition state, and I would go back to clarity on the vision. What is your stated strategic digital goals? And once you've got that vision, my biggest advice in these scenarios is understanding where do you want your data to sit, and then plan around that.
Okay, interesting. And from that perspective, you've still got the support systems in place for customers to help them along that journey. And so when we look overall, you've mentioned a whole host of areas that customers have to think about on the journey, about their applications, the data, custom code, business processes, security, integrations. You've mentioned things such as the API or the business hub, and obviously that organizational change piece. So as we come to the end of our discussion on this, what I'd like to perhaps leave our listeners with is, so businesses we've identified have a lot of challenges to overcome, and what are the top tips you'd like to leave our members on with how to prepare for their journey?
If I say one thing, I would say, if you're a customer with ERP on premise and you're not yet moved into the cloud, I'd thoroughly recommend a free starter kit that we've introduced called the SAP Customer Evolution Kit. It's ideal if you're in the early planning phases and you're still trying to get your head around all of the challenges that you just described. And you just get in touch with your account team and register for this Customer Evaluation Kit. It basically lasts a week. It's a number of workshops, interactive with the team. We start off with the SAP ERP simulation game. I don't know if you've tried it, Craig, but
yeah, very good.
I just remember, it just reminds me of games of Monopoly around the table as a kid, and someone always throwing the board in disgust when it goes wrong. But I haven't seen that yet with the simulation game. So we do the simulation game, and then what we do is we from the back of that, there's a purpose to it. So we get the aspects of the ERP simulation game that we find are beneficial for the customer, and we select those and prioritize those, and we put together a customer specific point of view document. On the second day, we walk that through with the customer, and then once we've walked that through with the customer, we identify which of the innovation and improvement potential is there with the SAP capability. So we then have the what we're going to do. So we sketch the future based on this customer specific product map. So you've got now saying what your target solution might look like, and we then, and this is now into day 3, we identify and quantify the financial benefits to help you establish a value case for the transformation. And then on day 4, we analyze the software, the infrastructure, the requirements, the functional implications, your custom code adaptations, your data migration requirements, all through this readiness check, just to get an understanding of the state of play with you as a customer, and then what we need to do to go forward. So that gives us the inputs then to do a transition strategy and deployment options. And then we wrap that up with a closing session on day 5. So it's a really good starter for helping you map out that journey if you don't know where to start, and I thoroughly recommend it.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Because, as they say, fail to prepare, you better prepare to fail. So,
Spot on.
best
Yeah.
preparations is what's needed there. So, Rob, thank you. Is there anything that perhaps we haven't covered or talked about that you would like to close with? Is there anything I haven't asked you that you feel you'd really like to share with our listeners?
So what I would say to listeners is you're not alone. There's a huge community out there to support you. SAP, of course, partners are there, but also the SAP user group. If you go on the user group website, there is a host of articles and information there, including this podcast and lots of other things. So just engage with SAP. If you don't know where to start, we'll point you in the right direction. And as you say, Craig, it's all about preparation. It's not easy, but the tooling is there, the support is there, the ecosystem is there. You just have to engage in the right way and you'll be successful.
Thank you very much, Rob. Really appreciate your time and your insights. And, to our listeners, thank you for listening. And remember what Rob said, use what's there for you. Access that information, access the support that's available to you to help you on your journey. So thank you very much. I hope you found the conversation valuable, and please make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And until the next time, stay safe, stay well, and do keep washing your hands.